Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, valued listeners, to the fourth episode of my gaming-centric podcast, Arcade Renegades. I wouldn't call it new at this point. Each episode, I'll have a guest with me where we will discuss the latest news in gaming. Then we will play a mini-game myself or the guest will set up. You can call me Jason or Vaz, and today my special guest is none other than Melody, a Twitch streamer who also owns a gaming channel. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me on your podcast.
I mean, I couldn't help myself. I just had to have you on.
Hell yeah.
So, what got
No
you into
problem.
gaming?
I've been playing video games since I was literally 2, so I don't know if there was necessarily a single particular thing. I've just always played games.
Yeah, I hear ya. So, like, the moment you turned 2, it was Mario or Spyro. What was the first game that you played?
The first thing I remember playing is some Sonic games back on the Genesis.
Yep, I hear you on that one. For me, it was Super Mario Bros. 3 for about 3 minutes, and then Sonic 1 immediately after.
Yeah, I remember playing lots of Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo as well.
Oh, that's a really good one. That is a really good one. A lot of really hard ROM hacks.
Yeah. I have the theme, or not the theme music, but the stage music for World 2-1 and Super Mario World forever ingrained in my brain because that was where we always grinded for additional lives. So we played that stage like a bajillion times.
I mean, I can't blame you. That soundtrack is legendary. Absolutely
Yeah.
legendary. Speaking of legendary, though, an event has recently been cancelled. Something I would call legendary, but now may fade into the sands of time. I am referring to E3. Have you seen E3 before?
I've seen a few E3 events. I was never like a huge E3 person, but I know what E3 is, and I've seen like some of the reveals and stuff in past years.
Yeah, same. So yeah, the Entertainment Software Association announced that E3 2023 is cancelled. Back in January, it was confirmed that the quote-unquote Big Three, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, would not be making an appearance at this year's event. I understand Nintendo a bit, what with their directs, but what are your thoughts on Sony and Microsoft?
From what I was reading, it sounds like everybody's kind of going in the direction of doing sort of what Nintendo does with the directs and like hosting their own sort of showcases.
Yeah,
So it seems like
yeah.
we just don't need E3 anymore. It's like not what it used to be, and things change over time. So now everybody's kind of migrated towards hosting their own shows.
It makes sense. I mean, game reviews used to be on TV. Um, that was the thing that happened. But with other people making their own reviews, those video game reviews on TV just stopped being a thing. So it makes sense that this could be the turning point that causes E3 to kind of be more of an E0.
Well, I mean, another thing about it too, from the company's perspective, is when you're showcasing something at E3, you're at like a neutral third-party event.
Yeah.
But if you're showcasing something on your own terms, you have much more control over what gets presented, how much, who's there, that sort of thing. So you can make it a lot more favorable to yourself to just host your own showcase.
Absolutely. Like Ubisoft left E3 because they're having an independent presentation called Ubisoft Forward. So at least that one was sort of confirmed that they're making their own presentation. And Sega has been kind of doing its own thing as well regarding its own presentation.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's been doing their own thing for forever. They've just always pretty much been doing the directs, or at least it feels like it.
Yeah, a concern I saw was the announcement of indie games. I do feel like, while E3 was a massive platform, now these indie games will be spread across like these 19, 20, whatever independent presentations now.
Yeah, it does suck for indie games that there's not going to be like such a big showcase because I'm guessing E3 probably isn't going to recover from this, but they'll find their own way because usually whenever things like this change, there might be some like chaos or hecticness initially, but eventually things settle and everyone kind of figures out how to adapt.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do think that COVID-19 had a major impact. And so in those 3 years that, we've been dealing with COVID-19, it makes sense that others wanted to have a way to present their announcements without people having to really be there in person.
Yeah, I mean, COVID-19 kind of pointed out a lot of flaws in systems and shown it forced a lot of people to come up with creative solutions to problems. And while some things have gone back to normal, other things I think have just been forever changed.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to go back to what was before COVID-19 personally.
No, not really.
So now that people are doing their own thing, I mean, who knows what Sony and Microsoft are going to call it? I mean, calling it a direct, would it be caught plagiarizing Nintendo?
I don't think so because it wouldn't be a Nintendo Direct. It would be a Sony Direct. I don't think they're going to call it that. They'll come up with their own names for it or whatever.
Sony Indirect.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's hard to say. They could call it literally anything. I'm sure it'll be something that makes sense for their brand, though.
I do agree with that. Speaking of brands, wow, that segue, am I right?
You've been
What bigger
pretty
brand
solid
can you
on the
have
segues
aside from
so
a lot of
far.
games? You have what bar? I just tossed it out the window.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
Final Fantasy 16 is in development. Hopefully, will be a better game than 15. I found that 15 had a lot of good ideas, but was okay in execution.
I liked 15. I had a really good time with 15. Um, I think that's like one of the few games I ever grinded a character out to their max level is 15. But I did not finish all the side quest stuff because there was just so much side content.
Yeah, I heard about that. I loved being able to drive in that car, and I liked the characters, even if I can't really discern their outfits too much because they're all wearing pretty much the same shade of black.
No, I mean they're all wearing like a very similar or like very similarly styled outfits. Kind of makes them like they're like a crew almost, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's kind of like a
I don't know.
bachelor party. I mean, wait,
Yeah, that's kind of what it
that's
was.
kind of what it
That's
is.
basically yeah, it's basically what it was. But
It's like a realization of, oh wait,
uh although that game did give me my all-time favorite Final Fantasy line, so it's all good.
oh, which one's that?
There's no wrong way to love a chocobo.
Okay, yeah,
That's a 10 out of 10 line. I love it
that
so
really
much.
is. Now, I don't know how long Final Fantasy 15 takes because it's kind of different for everyone. Haven't really finished the game myself. But apparently, according to director Hiroshi Takai and producer Naoki Yoshida, Final Fantasy 16's story will take about 35 hours to beat, and for 100% completion will be around 70 to 80 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. I pulled up the article while we were talking about it, but that's actually kind of short for an RPG because like if you think about just about any RPG of like a Final Fantasy style anyways, like those are like minimum 100-hour games
Oh,
usually. Like
absolutely. I mean,
Persona, some of the previous Final Fantasies.
look at 10 and their
Yeah,
bajillion secret bosses.
or even just the previous game 15. There's no
Yeah.
way I only put 70 hours into 15. I put like hundreds of hours into that game.
Now, there was a reason. According to them, they took the gamers' busy lives, outside of the game into consideration when they thought out the playtime. And the story was going to be shorter. Essentially, the story was going to be 20 hours. But by the time they were done, oops, it became 35.
Well, I mean, a more streamlined story isn't necessarily a bad thing. We'll see, I guess. I just hope they don't try to do like they did with 15 and tie in like 50 supplementary experience things. Like there's an anime, a second game,
Oh yeah,
and I think there's like some books or something.
I would basically have the 7 and 13 sort of treatment.
Yeah, yeah, because 15, there's a movie. I forgot there was a movie that you have to watch. And then there's an anime that's only in Japan that you're supposed to watch. And then there's Kingsclave, I think is what the other game is called. It's like an old Nintendo game that's like supplementary to 15.
Okay.
And if you and like all the missing pieces of the story, at least the initial run of the story, I think they added patches that like filled out the missing holes
Yeah.
later. But to fill those holes originally, you were supposed to like watch the movie, watch this anime that's only in Japan, go read these books, go play this other game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I watched the anime. I can say that.
um and I think that was like probably the worst misstep of that 15 has, is that was just really stupid.
Yeah. 15 definitely had an interesting direction of having the story kind of be in the background for a while at least.
Well, I mean, the story almost didn't even exist whenever it initially launched. Whenever it initially launched, you'd be introduced to a character or a plot point, and then the next time there was a cutscene, it resolved itself off screen already.
Wow.
um,
That's something.
and like his love interest in the story was her name Luna Freya, I want to say.
It was
Um,
around that.
I think she only appeared in the base version of the game like 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Like she's barely even in the game, and she's like a significant major character to the story, but the story takes such a back seat to the side quests for whatever reason, that like it almost doesn't even exist.
Yeah. At least the
But
locations are
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, my understanding though is that they did fill in a lot of the blanks later with DLC content. I was just so burned out by the time all that stuff started coming out that I stopped playing. Because at that point, I'd had like several hundred hours into the side quests.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a
And
lot of hours.
I was done with it forever by that point.
Would you revisit it now?
Probably. I haven't played it in so long that I probably could revisit it and feel fresh now, but
Maybe they'll have another
oof,
cutscene with Luna Freya or whatever her name is. Maybe at least one more cutscene.
maybe. I mean, I'm sure she's got more cutscenes now. They had a whole thing with like her brother or whatever, and you see him like once at the beginning, and then the next time you see him, he's like already dead, and it's like the end of the game.
Wow.
And it's
Rip.
like they explain nothing about how we got from point A to point B. Like
Like it just happened.
it's insane. Yeah. Apparently it all happens in like I think the movie or something. I can't remember. They made such a huge mistake splitting it up into like multiple media. Like they tried to Kingdom Hearts it, but like do it all at once in one big go.
Yeah.
It was just a huge mistake.
No, I do hear you there. I think that the game did have a lot of ideas, despite what I said before. I think it was mainly to me the story that was more of a miss to me.
Well, I
But
mean,
I will say I love the
depending on
graphics.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say, depending on when you played the game, I don't know if you played it like early on or if you played
It
it
was early
later
on.
on. Yeah, if you played it early on, there's not even really a story in the first place. Or there's barely a story. Um, so I can't blame you there because there really isn't a story in the game until they patched the story in later.
Yeah.
So a more streamlined story for 16, I'm actually fine with, as long as it's a complete story.
Yeah, hopefully.
If it's not a complete story, that would suck.
It really would. I mean, this is a massive juggernaut of a franchise. Please have a complete story. If not, maybe
Mhm.
5 other sequels, but hopefully a complete story. I would
Yeah, that'd
rather
be
they
pretty
do
good.
kind of what, I don't know, 10 did, where the story was complete in 10.1, but 10.2 was just a sequel anyway.
Well, 10.2 picks up where 10 left off, but it tells its own story because, you know, big spoilers for anyone who's never played Final Fantasy X. Um, Towards the end of the game, you learn that Titus didn't ever actually exist. He's not real. Um,
Yeah.
but he's real enough to save the world, I guess. But saving the world unreals him, so now he's not real anymore and he disappears.
It makes sense in story context.
Yeah.
It actually does. But out of
As
context, no.
as I said, man learns he doesn't exist, saves the world anyways. That's how I described Final Fantasy X one time. Uh, but anyways, what Final Fantasy X-2 is actually about thematically is Yuna kind of accepting her loss in this because the main subplot in 10 is the romance between Titus and Yuna. So
Yeah.
when he disappears at the end, he's effectively died, and she's
Yeah.
kind of left alone. And what 10-2 is about her like trying desperately initially to like go find him again, even though he's gone. And then by the end, she just kind of has to accept that he's gone
I
and
think
move
the
on.
I think the endings confused a lot of people because it seemed like
And that's
Titus,
kind of
Titus,
like, I
whatever.
guess, the story. That's what 10-2 is about.
Yeah, also dancing. I think there
Ugh.
was a lot of dancing in 10 too.
Are you still here, Vazo? Or am
I'm
I
still
talking to myself?
I'm still here. Are you able to hear me?
Uh, Hello?
Hello?
There we go. I had a feeling Discord was doing its usual shenanigans.
Oh no. The shenanigans.
The shenanigans begin agains.
But yeah, I was saying that 16 10 2 seemed to really be a lot of about dancing.
Well, I mean, people die in unit dances.
Okay, that is true. I remember the graphics also being like 20 times worse than they were in 10.1.
Oh my god. Yeah. Did you ever see the video of it's footage of Yuna dancing from the beginning of Final Fantasy X-2, but the audio is replaced with that cutscene of Titus like being like, when people die, Yuna dances or whatever.
No, I've not seen that.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Alright, I think I lost you a second time.
No worries. Have you found me?
I love either Discord or spotty internet connection, whichever of the two.
Hold that thought. Going to take a drink.
Going to take a drink. Delicious.
So, speaking of very popular games, wow, that segue. So great.
You are a top tier segueist.
Oh, thank you, thank you. My ego needs this. Sonic Frontiers director Mario Kishimoto hinted that 2D fans can look forward to new side-scrolling games in the future. Hopefully not a
I mean,
Sonic
that
4
just
Episodes 3.
yeah. Well, I mean, that just makes sense if you ask me, because for as spotty as their 3D games are, because their 3D games very much tend to be hit or miss, and
Oh yeah,
I would argue the 3D games are under an unfair amount of criticism most of the time
I do agree.
because of the reputation of '06 and Boom.
Oh
People kind
yeah,
of go into the games expecting them to be bad. But I mean, if you look at Frontiers versus the latest Pokemon games, because they released around the same time, the latest Pokemon games do not function. They are not complete games. They are broken beyond repair.
oh they are
They are
so
they are just
broken.
absolutely trash. But people like will defend them to the death.
Yeah, like
Meanwhile,
yeah,
the Sonic Frontiers game is competently built. It's fine. It's no better or worse than like a Bethesda open world game. In fact, it might run better than a Bethesda open world game.
yeah. Like the
And
graphics aren't
because
completely there.
I saw more people complain about the way Frontier ran than I did about the way Pokemon ran, and I'm like, how is that even fair? Like, only one of these two people tried.
Yeah, like a big name like Jim Sterling put Sonic Frontiers on the top 10 worst games of the year list.
Yeah, see, that to me is just insane because Sonic Frontiers is fine. It's competently built. It's pretty fun. I don't think it's like game of the year material, but it's a solid game. It's like, a decent 7 or 8, I would say. I haven't finished
Yeah.
it yet, so maybe like the story will bump it up a notch, but gameplay wise it's been fine. Um
Yeah, like I have my odd complaint here or there, but my god, am I having a lot of fun, and it's far less broken than the latest Pokemon games.
but anyways, to get to the other point that I was trying to make by even going off on this tangent, Um, while the 3D games are spotty and they're always under heavy criticism, the 2D games are usually a pretty safe bet for them. Like the 2D games typically get received well. I think Sonic 4 is like the only one with like a really negative reaction among the 2D
Basically.
games. Like Sonic Advanced is really well received. All of the classic Sonic games, and then they released Sonic Mania not that
Oh
super
yeah, that
long
was
ago, and that one like fucking blew everybody's minds.
yeah, I
Like they
know,
have a
yeah.
pretty good track record with 2D Sonic, so it'd be
They
pretty
do.
stupid to not keep releasing 2D Sonic games.
I mean, Mario released 1,000 2D Mario games. I was gonna say Mario released 1,000 2D Sonic games. Do you remember the era of like New Super Mario Bros. And all that jazz around the time of the Wii? Like,
You
I'm
mean like
surprised that
Super Mario 3D or whatever? Super Mario Wii U. They still do those because they had the one with the cats like what a couple years ago.
yeah, like it
Uh,
makes no
that
sense
was
why Sega hasn't really returned to 2D aside from Mania, which again, Mania was phenomenal. And I know
yeah.
we're not
I
getting a
mean,
second
Mania
Mania.
took everyone by storm.
Yeah. The team that worked on Mania are actually working on their own IP now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Definitely tells us that Mania won't be coming back for a while at least.
Yeah.
But Morio Kishimoto also said that they wanted to do a Sonic Adventure 3.
Oh, dude, that'd be pretty sick. I'd be 100% down for Sonic Adventure 3.
Yeah, back to
As
the
long
like
as
the
it gets to
adventure
keep
gameplay in the Chow Garden.
my only concern if they do a Sonic Adventure 3 is they have to bring back the edgier writing. And I don't mean the fake edgy writing. I mean the because like in Sonic Adventure 2 and in Shadow's story in Sonic 06, there's like I don't know, like an edge to kind of the writing. Like some pretty messed up stuff happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
And I
I
would love
love
to
a
see
darker
a Sonic
story.
Adventure. Yeah, I would love to see Sonic Adventure 3 get back to that sort of writing style. Um, without, fucking bastardizing or flanderizing, whatever you want to call it, the characters.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
because in almost every game now, Shadow's like a one-note edgy boy, which everyone loves to make fun of.
And
But
then
he actually
Knuckles
had
was
character
really
depth.
stupid.
Yeah, but he used to have character depth, and so did Knuckles. Actually, Knuckles also gets flanderized really bad.
Yeah, look at Sonic Boom.
Um,
Or don't,
okay.
please don't.
To be fair, if you think about Sonic Boom Knuckles as a separate character, which he's supposed to be from regular Knuckles, I actually like him. I don't know if you ever watched the Sonic TV show, but
I have.
he's pretty funny. He's pretty funny in it. He has
Yeah.
his moments.
I will say,
But you have to think of him as being like an entirely like alternate universe, separate character. He is not regular Knuckles.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense in
He's
that
as far
context. There's
removed
like
from
a
regular Knuckles
parallel
as like the
dimension.
Ugandan Knuckles meme was.
Yeah,
He's like his own
yeah.
entity.
If we could get it in a
Ugh.
Sonic Adventure 3, I do think they should, alright. If we do get a Sonic Adventure 3, I do think that they should bring back Ian Flynn as the writer.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I would definitely want the writing to be on par with the other ones, where
At least on par with Frontiers.
it's self-aware enough. It's self-aware enough to realize it's a game about talking cartoon animals, but also has enough respect for its audience to not just be completely dumbed down.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I will say that Ian Flynn's writing in Sonic Frontiers is so good. I mean, especially compared to the writing of other games, which are very much not.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked what I've seen so far. I mean, I only got like a few worlds in so far.
Yeah,
I need
I'm
to finish that at some
currently on
point.
the third island.
I think I'm on the second one, as I just started it. You were with us, I think, whenever I was streaming it last.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I just like started the second island or something.
Okay. So with E3 having been cancelled, it is now up to us, a podcast, to discuss indie games that we can look forward to. And honestly, I do prefer indie games compared to AAA titles nowadays.
I think it depends personally. Because most AAA titles I don't care about anymore, honestly. There's
Yeah.
just like a handful of like ones that are nostalgic to me at this point, I think, and every once in a while there'll be a AAA game announced there I'm like, oh, that looks pretty sick. But for the most part, I'm also mostly into indie games. Like my whole jam is indie horror games.
Oh,
I
indie
play
horror
indie
is
horror games
amazing.
forever. Yeah, they're always like either the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life or the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life.
And
There's
sometimes
little
you'll get
in
that
between.
mix of both. That is so amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Indie horror games are great. Unfortunately, on the trailers I saw, you didn't have any good indie horrors for us, but I saw some stuff that looked interesting.
Yeah. So the first one that we'll talk about is Coffee Talk Episode 2 Hibiscus and Butterfly, which will be released on
Ah,
April 20th on the Nintendo Switch eShop.
yes, Starbucks Simulator, the visual novel.
Basically. Okay, have you heard of Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action?
No, I have no. I saw the trailer that you sent me, and that's all I know about this game. I don't
Okay,
know what episode 1 was like. I know
same.
nothing.
I will actually look at episode 1 like later cuz I liked what I saw in Coffee Talk episode 2 Hibiscus and Butterfly. I'm just going to say Coffee Talk at this point. I'm not going to say the whole title. Now, I don't mean to
Yeah,
make
that's
unfair
fair.
comparisons, but Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action or just Valhalla, it's basically the same in judging from what I saw in the trailer, but Valhalla was more of you being a bartender with alcohol, Well, this one's you being a barista. It doesn't make
Yeah,
the
that's
game
fair.
any less beautiful, though. I like the pixel art.
Yeah, I like the art and stuff. I've never been big on the sort of visual novel type games. There's only a couple I really like.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, Phoenix Wright rules because it's like a good puzzle game.
Oh
I
yeah,
need to
also
finish those at
Zeroscape.
some point.
Zeroscape's really good. I heavily
Um,
recommend those.
if you do like visual novel type storytelling, though, one I would actually recommend is a fighting game called Blaze Blue.
Oh, okay, I have heard of Blaze Blue.
Yeah, I would
I
highly
don't remember
recommend
which one
that.
I've played.
If you like, yeah,
It's
if you
like
like fighting
Quantum
games,
something.
I would recommend Blaze Blue, especially the first one because the first one has a really solid concept. And I don't want to spoil it because it's like it's a spoiler for the game. What the concept of the game actually is, um, but it's pretty cool, and I think it's like unique and creative.
Yeah, I
Highly
do agree
recommend
with
Blaze
that.
Blue.
Wasn't a fan of the anime, but I like the game and I like the soundtrack of whichever one I played.
Yeah, probably one of the more recent ones, I imagine. I don't know.
Actually, it was
My
back in
boyfriend owns
grade
them all and
9.
has played like all of them, I think.
Back
They
in
actually had a crossover with Persona and Ruby, I believe.
okay, it
Yeah, it was
was.
with Persona and Ruby. That's right.
I think I played
Uh,
Continuum Shift.
s- continue. That's the Continuum Shift is the second or third one.
Oh, that would make sense. It's about Continuum Shift came out in 2009, and I was in grade 9 at the time, which was
Yeah,
2009.
the most recent one is a crossover with Persona 4 and Ruby, I believe.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the most recent Blaze Blue game, which I cannot remember what it's called. But like it's
Blasona.
it's the plot on that one is they all get transported to like another dimension, all the characters from the different franchises or whatever.
Yeah,
They
okay.
gotta escape. Which is your typical like plot line from like I think Teen Titans had an episode like that once. I think it's happened in like the Justice League before.
I remember Teen
Like,
Titans having a really good episode with virtual reality. The villain
well,
of that one was Mad Mod, I believe the name of the villain was. The
yeah,
evil
but
Brit.
oh yeah, I love Mad Mod, but no, there's like a kind of a cliched plot line in a lot of action cartoons where the hero and like their rivals and then like some other characters will all get transported to another world and they'll have to like compete in a tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most recent Blaze Blue game is kind of like that. It has a similar thing happen. I don't think it's like for a tournament. I can't remember the reason they all get transported, but they get transported, they're trying to escape. That's effectively the plot.
Oh yeah, definitely came across like games and even anime like that before. I'll definitely have to check it out
Um,
though.
but yeah, I would definitely recommend the very first Blaze Blue game because it's just got a really good idea concept. But anyways, we are talking about not an indie game right now. So, there's Afterimage. You sent me a trailer for that.
Yeah. Afterimage, which will release on April 25th on the Switch eShop. Everything I've sent
20
you will be releasing
days.
on the Switch eShop.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, better have a Switch or else. Afterimage looked really good.
I liked it. Whenever I first saw it, like the first few screens, I thought the character bled too much into the background and I like barely could even see her. And but then like once it started showing the more like diverse backgrounds and stuff, I was like, "Oh no, here we go. Now it's starting to look kind of cool." But it does look pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, like the graphics do
Like the
look really nice. Like the
Oh yeah, it
graphics
looked really
themselves.
pretty.
It's just the way the platforms are versus the character gives me a little Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I could see that. The thing that came to mind for me was like the Castlevania games and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean.
Like at least the newer, or the newish ones. I don't know, newer than the Nintendo, because I don't think any of the Castlevania games at this point are like all that new, unless they're still making those and I just didn't know.
Castlevania games? I wish. I don't think we've got one
Yeah,
in quite some time.
I was gonna say, I don't think they've really made one of those in a really, really long time.
No, no, they haven't.
Uh,
But yeah, the next game is how do I pronounce this? Dor.
yeah, I was trying to figure out how to say this too,
Well,
and I've come to one of two options. My favorite one, because I know it's wrong, is Dordogne,
yeah.
and I just think that's really fun to say. The second one is Dordogne, which I think could be it, but I just do not know.
For all we know, it's French. Most likely.
Oh my god!
To those listening,
Or it's got some weird.
It is spelled Dordogne.
Yeah. I mean, it could have some totally random enunciation that I just don't understand because I don't know the rules of some other languages' words. But the two ideas I came to are horribly wrong and maybe kind of right.
Oh, I
And
can imagine
my
if.
thoughts.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I can just
Um,
imagine that that the game is just literally pronounced horribly wrong, just spelled
yeah,
Dordogne.
yeah, it's so confusing a spelling. I don't even know how. I don't really have a strong idea on how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Now, this game was made by Focus Entertainment. It's the first indie game that I actually mentioned the developers. So, a little recap: Coffee Talk Episode 2 was made. It's being made by Toge Productions, Afterimage by Oregon Shanghai, and Dordogne by Focus Entertainment. The reason I mention this is because it seems like you were taking pictures and putting them in a scrapbook.
You see, this game, I was getting ready to say, this game explained the least about what is going on, but I was the most interested in this one because I like the art style of it. I really
Yeah.
liked the art style and like the casual vibes,
Oh, the game is
but it
beautiful.
literally does not explain anything in its trailer.
It
Like,
really
I don't
doesn't.
know what we're doing. I don't know why we're doing it. We've got a camera, I guess. Is the camera like the main part of the game, or is this just like a casual like story game where we're like on some island or something? I don't know what's going
Do you
on.
think it's going to be like some sort of twist that this is the adult
Nothing was
version
explained to
of.
me. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's just like. I have a funny feeling that there's going to be a plot twist. Like a plot twist where I'm going to call the character Dordogne because I don't know what on earth that title is referring to. But it's like an adult version of her looking through a scrapbook of her childhood. That's my theory.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. That's a very uh
What Remains of Edith Finch?
the Edith Finch, yeah. I was trying to think of the name, but yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch. That's a similar idea. Although this game does not give me the same sort of dark vibes that What Remains of Edith Finch has going
Oh,
on.
the game was dark. But who
It was
knows?
twisted.
Someone might have their hand or head chopped off in Dordogne. I'd really like to know how the earth is pronounced. I'm Canadian. French is our second language, and I have no idea how on earth that this is pronounced. I will look at it later. But this game will be releasing spring 2023 on the Switch eShop. It's all the Switch eShop.
Hell yeah, Switch eShop time, baby.
Now, are you ready for the completely unofficial spiritual successor of Jet Set Radio?
Yeah, I am ready for skate game with some wild animation.
And a helmet that reminds me of anime characters I've seen before?
Yeah,
I mean, when you have a
I did not.
when you have a name like
Oh,
Bomb
sorry.
Rush Cyberfunk, just wow, that's a
Yep.
name.
Yeah, I mean it does have like a Jet Set Radio sort of vibe with the name and then the art style, but I'm not like big on like skating games and stuff. So for me, this one's like very much in the category of, oh, that looks like something that the people who like skating games will really fucking enjoy. But
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
It's I'm with you on the fact that it's not a game I would play personally because of the gameplay, but this game just like oozes a sort of style that just looks really cool. Now we don't know
Oh yeah, I
what on
love the
earth
art
is
style.
like. I have no idea what the story will be yet until the game comes out somewhere in the summer, apparently. But it's definitely a game I definitely watch people play.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a good time. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing the animation and some more because it did look pretty cool.
Yeah, I was hoping for another trailer on that because I mean, also that main character design, that helmet must be very heavy, but it looks really cool.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of looking really cool, because we need natural segues.
Yeah, what is a
The next
segue?
game, the next game that you sent me is probably my favorite of all of the ones you sent me,
I'm not
and
gonna
this
lie,
game
same
looks
here.
incredible. This game is like next level, I think.
Yeah,
What
developed
is it?
by yep.
Path of the Teal Lotus.
Yeah, developed by Christopher Stair and Trevor Youngquist. Also, the other one, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, was developed by Team Reptile. Also, every indie game we're talking about will be on the Switch eShop. But it is a
Yeah.
beautiful hand-drawn 2D Metroidvania platformer.
Yeah. Whenever I saw this game, I was telling Suki, because I was talking to her at the time, I was like, this game looks like Hollow Knight and Okami like had like a love child.
Oh yeah, I fully agree with that, especially the Okami side of that.
Oh no, it's got like super strong Okami vibes, but that like cloak thing that the main character is wearing gives me like Hollow Knight vibes.
I do agree with you on that. Like, I
And then
can't
like
get
how
over
they're
it.
like kind of tiny or whatever. Yeah, I mean the whole thing.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my god, it looks so cool.
There's not even a release date, it's just 2023.
Oh yeah, they can take as much time as they need on that. I want to see this game at its peak
It
because it needs to be amazing.
it is a game I would probably buy the moment it comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely invested, and I only saw 20 seconds of it.
Yeah. Again on the Switch eShop. And then we have Cassette Beats. I found this one to be interesting. It's not too often. Oh, you still there?
I'm still here.
All
I
right.
missed Cassette Beats. I did not see this one. Hold on.
All right. Well,
I need a minute to look at.
take a
I,
small minute. So after a small break, we are now ready to talk about Cassette Beats by Byton Studio, Bytten. Again on the
are you
Switch
sure?
eShop.
Are you sure? Are you sure it isn't Cassette Beats by Dre?
I mean, who knows? Dre might have made this game. Now,
Wow.
I'll make the one comparison a lot of people will make immediately. Oh my god, it looks like Pokemon.
I was gonna say maybe Pokemon, but actually that opening part at the very, very beginning where it's like if you wish to leave this land or whatever gives me like Undertale Deltarune vibes, weirdly
I
enough.
fully agree with that. I didn't
But,
know what I was getting into when I first watched the trailer. I thought I was going into like an indie
um
horror.
I'm still I'm still trying to figure out what I just watched because there's there's a lot to like take in. I like the art. I like the like promotional art image, the with all the characters and like that girl is like kind of doing the leap thing or whatever. I really liked
Hmm.
that art style. The rest of the game looks like it's more of a very pixely style. It's some kind of RPG, I guess. Um,
Yeah, it's turn based from what I read.
um, I can see the Pokemon vibes, sort of,
Yeah,
but it's
I
more like
I feel like it's Pokemon esque on the surface. Like people who may look at it might think potentially of Pokemon, but I feel like it's a lot more in depth. than that, like, completely.
Well, it looks like you turn into whatever these things are. And I don't
Get some
know
Persona
how
vibes
that.
from that.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it because do we find these? I assume it's through the cassettes that we are transformed. Because that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you find these cassettes in the world, or if you get them by defeating enemies, or like how does it work? What are the mechanics?
Like, do we sacrifice people and then they become the cassette beast? See
Yeah.
what I did there?
And then there's also I do see what you do.
Then there's what?
Um, then there's I don't know what the story of this game is gonna be. Like, what are we doing? Why are we here? Because the I don't know.
I sort of got a digital dimension kind of vibe that maybe we're trapped in there and we have to find a way out.
Maybe.
Yeah. Probably add some trauma in there, because why not?
Maybe.
But it does
I'm intrigued.
oddly intrigue me.
I'm intrigued, but I need to know more because I don't have enough to go on with this. The vibe at the beginning versus the vibe further into the trailer is so different. And my man over here is like in a tracksuit with a sweatband on his head. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
The same. This does really intrigue me. Like, I want
I
to
like her
learn more.
beret though.
Oh, yeah.
She has a very nice beret. But she's wearing like she's wearing like a beret with like an 80s sweater. Or I guess it's more of a 90s sweater. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know,
I don't
but
know.
I want to know more.
I want to know more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm confused, but I'm intrigued enough to want to know more.
Like, I was already pulled in with the
100%.
graphics because I like this kind of games. But it's just,
Yeah.
there's a lot of intrigue, a word we've used a lot at this moment, but there's a lot of intrigue regarding what is potentially going on. And I feel like the setup at the very beginning of the trailer set the tone for the rest, because afterwards it's like, instead of just watching, one part of the trailer with the gameplay, you have to take in the beginning and just be like, what on earth is going on?
What is going on?
Yep.
Sometimes you just don't know what is even going on anymore.
Yep, or what is going off. Who knows? So now it is time. It is time for our minigame.
Oh,
And today's...
time for a minigame?
Yep, it's
I thought
time
you
for
were
a
going to
minigame.
say it was Adventure Time.
Oh, I missed that. Also, good series.
Ugh.
But it's time for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? With money I can't actually give you.
Hell yeah, my favorite.
So there are about 11 questions. And you'll have 3 lifelines. Here's what the lifelines are.
Nice.
A 20-second Google search, 50-50, and second guess. So, 20-second Google search or just Google search is self-explanatory. 50-50, I will bring it down to the correct answer and an incorrect answer. And second guess means that you're able to guess, and if it's wrong, you can guess again.
Okay.
Can't really phone a friend, because I didn't set those up. I guess we don't have friends.
No.
Yes. So, are you prepared?
I am ready.
Okay, well, we're going to start off with a really high number. $500.
Ooh.
And I'll let you know right now, for every 4th question you answer correctly, you will keep that amount if you end up losing. If you do not make it to the halfway point, you are able to try again, and I have a different set of questions to ask you. So let us start with the $500 question. What is the name of Mario's brother? Is it A, Giancarlo, B, Peppino Spaghetti, C, Luigi, or D, Toad?
Oh, it is almost certainly Peppino. No, I'm just kidding. It's Luigi. It's C.
Is that your final dandy?
Yeah, it is my final dandy.
All right, you are correct.
Hooray, I win.
$500. That can buy you many a plate of spaghetti. Time for the $1,000 question. What color are Pac-Man's gloves? Are they A, white, B, yellow, C, red, or D, green?
Oh God. I actually did not know that Pac-Man even has gloves. So I'm used to him being like the head or whatever. You don't see a ton of promotional art. But I
Well,
have to guess, as a character, the gloves are usually white. So I'm gonna go with white.
Is that
Okay.
your final dandy?
That is my final dandy.
That is incorrect.
Rip.
Yep. The answer was C, red.
He has red gloves. Is that real?
Yeah, in the 3D games.
Dang. Oh, I've never played any of the 3D Pac-Man. Rip skis.
No worries, we will start over at the $500 question. Nicknamed King Koopa, who is the arch nemesis of Mario? Is it A, Bowser, B, Doug, C, King Boo, or D, M. Bison?
It's gonna be Bowser. A.
Is that your final dandy?
This is my final dandy.
You are correct. Now for the $1,000 question. Which bad guy was introduced in Super Mario Bros. 2? Was it A, Koopa Troopa, B, Shy Guy, C, Lakitu, or D, Goomba?
That would be B, the Shy Guy.
You are correct.
Yay.
Time for $2,000. Many a plate of spaghetti. Alongside Universal Interactive Studios, who else developed Crash Bandicoot, the video game? Is it A, Insomniac, B, Naughty Dog, C, Sucker Punch Productions, or D, Incognito Entertainment?
B, Naughty Dog.
All right, let's see if you're correct. And you are indeed correct. Huzzah!
Hooray!
Time for $3,000. Which video game console released in 2006 pioneered the use of motion controls in its gameplay? Is it A, Xbox Kinect, B, Kinect 4, C, Nintendo Wii, or D, Nintendo Switch?
I'm gonna guess that would be the Nintendo Wii, because I feel like the Kinect came out much later.
What about the Kinect 4?
Oh yeah, totally the Kinect. No, I think it was the Nintendo Wii.
All right, and you are correct.
Hooray!
It's time for not the $4,000 question, but $5,000 question. Nintendo released a game that contained a word that is both a vehicle manufactured by Honda and the English name of a Greek epic poem. Is it A, Iliad, B, Odyssey, C, Journey, or D, Diablo 3?
Okay, so funny enough, my boyfriend actually has an Odyssey. That's the car he drives, or well, van. So I'm gonna guess that it is the Odyssey B.
Are you sure it wasn't Super Mario Diablo 3? Well,
No, I'm pretty sure.
you are correct. Okay.
Super Mario Diablo. I'd play it. Sure, why
Yeah,
not?
absolutely same. Okay.
Hey, no one thought that the Rabbids would be a good fit for Mario, and somehow it
No.
worked.
It really did. Surprising. So 5 questions are down, 6 remain, and you still have all 3 lifelines. What is thought to be the first video game created in 1958 and became popular in the 1970s? Is it A, Pong, B, Pac-Man, C, Space Invaders, or D, God of War Ragnarok?
I mean, obviously it's God of War Ragnarok. No, I would assume Pong.
All right, is that your final dandy?
That's my final dandy.
You are correct.
Nice. I didn't know Pong was made back in the 1950s though. That's a little
Yeah,
surprising.
it's very old.
That's what threw me off.
Also, did I tell you that was $10,000?
Nice.
Okay, because I forgot
If
to
this
do
were
that, I
real
guess.
money, I'd be swimming in it
I know, right? Time for 20,000. Also, to note, if you fail this, you will only leave with $3,000.
Oh no.
So, $20,000 question. After his house burned down, Will Wright was inspired to create this video game franchise. A. Street Fighter. B. WarioWare. C. Grand Theft Auto. Or D. The Sims.
Can you repeat the question really quick?
After his house burned down, Will Wright was inspired to create this video game franchise.
I'm gonna take my Google search, I think.
All right. And you can start your Google search now. And time is up. Did you get your answer?
Yeah, actually, I did.
All right.
That was incredibly useful.
Okay, so is it A, Street Fighter, B, WarioWare, C, Grand Theft Auto, or D, The Sims?
I should trust my instincts more. It's The Sims.
That is correct. After his house burnt down, Will Wright and his wife basically rebuilt his house and furniture, and that's what inspired him to create The Sims.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, now it's time for $50,000. If you guess this one correctly, but lose another one, you can at least leave with $50,000. What is the highest grossing arcade game of all time? Virtua Fighter, Pac-Man, Mortal Kombat 2, or Q*bert?
I think I'll take my second guess on this one because I feel very unconfident.
Yeah, no worries. What is your first guess?
I'm gonna go with Pac-Man first.
And that's correct.
Damn, I wasted my thing. I just
No
I
worries.
didn't have enough confidence because it felt like a trick question.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you on that. I was gonna put in Space Invaders.
That
The
would've
thing is,
fucked
Space
me up
Invaders
so bad.
actually sold more copies, but Pac-Man sold more money. Well, made more money. Didn't sell the money.
More
I'd buy
quarter
the money.
investments or something.
Yeah. So congratulations. If you lose any of these next 3 questions, you can still leave with $50,000. Not real money. So, $100,000. The word Tetris is a combination of the Greek word tetra and this sport. A. Badminton. B. Basketball. C. Tennis. Or D. Cthulhu Saves the World.
I'm gonna guess tennis because it's the only one that makes Tetris.
That is correct.
Also, why tennis? There's nothing tennis about Tetris. I'm confused.
Well, it's because the developer, his favorite sport is tennis.
Oh, I mean, you know what? That's as good a reason as you need.
Yep, that's basically, that's literally it. $500,000.
A communist game? No, I mean, like, wasn't it produced in the Soviet Union?
Oh, I don't remember. Thing is, I knew about this going in. Let's see. Tetris. Oh, yeah, it was. Created by the Soviet software engineer. Yeah, you're right about that. Wow.
It's literally a communist game.
Yeah, not wrong about that. So $500,000 and one lifeline left. This franchise was a last resort for the company. Shockingly, it did well enough to spawn sequels and save the company. A. No More Heroes. B. Mario. C. Grand Theft Auto. Or D. Final Fantasy.
It's D. That's why it's called Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you are correct. And that is legit why it was called Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I did know that story.
Yep.
Yeah, because they thought it was going to be their Final Fantasy.
And now
I am fully aware of that story.
Oh, yeah. It is a great story, too. Even if everything regarding the first 6 games was a mystery when it came to exports.
Oh my god. Trying to understand the correct order of game releases for Final Fantasy is a nightmare and a half.
And then they gave us...
It's like, you mean English 3 or Japanese 3?
Yeah, and then at one point they gave us Mystic Quest for the same reason we got Super Mario Bros. 2, and that the Japanese really thought Americans were stupid.
Yeah, Mystic Quest is legit fun, though.
I love the battle music. The battle music's iconic.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't know if you've ever actually played it, but it is genuinely kind of fun.
I've seen it. I've never played it. And I've listened to the battle music a lot. It's so good. Are you ready for the $1 million question?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to get rich or die trying.
This upcoming game stars Sebastian Cotorio, who joins the Feladado Familia. Is it A, Family Fortune, B, Fortune Familia, C, Fortuno Familia, or D, Familia Gatto?
I believe that is B.
Are you...
You're going to be really mad at me if I get this wrong, but I believe it's B.
Is that your final dandy? The finalist of dandies?
Yeah, Fortune Familia sounds the most right to my memory, so B.
You are correct! Congratulations, you have won $1 million!
$1 million. No.
You can now afford rent in Toronto.
For a month.
At least. Give or take, maybe. You can afford a shack. I wish I was kidding. Well, that was fun. I will actually tell you the other question that I actually only had 3 additional questions because I was running out of time. But the other question for the $2,000 one was in 2014. Actually, okay, let's have this as a bonus question. If you get this wrong, you can still walk away with 1 million. If you get this right, you can walk away with 2 million.
All right.
In 2014, double or not, double or single.
Double or same.
Yeah, basically. In 2014, Google partnered with Game Freak and Nintendo as part of an April Fool's Day prank to create a new version of Google Maps populated by small creatures. This prank inspired what massively popular 2016 video game? Is it A, Gardenscapes, B, God of War, C, WarioWare Gold, or D, Pokemon Go?
It's you need to Pokemon Go subscribe to Vazo's channel.
Oh, that is correct. Extra correct. $3 million. Flattery will get you everywhere.
But
yeah, this was
so
a lot
natural.
Just make up rules as I go. Oh, what's this? I get your firstborn child? 5 million.
You need to put in that GIF of or that clip or whatever of Hillary Clinton whenever she's like, Pokemon go to the polls.
I quote that a lot, actually.
From 2016 or whatever.
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
That was a big meme back then.
It really was. And then thanks to her, Hillary Clinton killed dabbing.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Dabbing on the Ellen
There's
Show.
a clip of Trump also dabbing, if I remember correct.
That sounds familiar.
I think they both ended up doing it at some point.
Oh no, dabbing is extra dead. Been beaten by a stick repeatedly.
No, you'll never kill dabbing for me. You should insert my dabbing stickers right there. Giving you extra work.
Totally. Curse you, podcasts. But yes, where can we find you? Aside from your house.
Please don't come to my house. That would be uncool. You can find me over at youtube.com/melodyyoung. Because I'm cool like that, and I got my name as my YouTube URL. And also, if you go onto my channel, my most recent video you'll see was about our house. We're having some financial issues. So if y'all want to get up to speed on that, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe you can help out in some small ways.
I'll leave a link in the description.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, also if you're looking for an editor, give me a job.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for work. Hire me, please.
I beg you, give me a job. But yeah, you can definitely find Melody at all the links down in the description below. Or if this is on Spotify somehow, the description. Or wherever that is. And yes, insert outro here. There's no actual outro. But if you like what you listen to, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, or if this is on Spotify, continue to listen and support me. And until next time...
Don't forget to keep your ear out for the release of that sweet, sweet Fortune Familia demo, which should be coming down
10
the
million.
Somewhere.
Releasing on Steam.
Releasing on Steam. Go look for it. Add it to your wish list. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.